All
right, awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining us. I think that I speak for all of the leaders when I say that we are so proud of you guys for getting through this. I have to say there were a lot of times where, as leaders, we previewed all of the videos that we were linking for you guys to watch. And one of mine was 3.5 hours long. And I was like, oh my gosh, is anybody gonna actually do this? And you guys did it. A lot of you did it. So we're really proud of you. And I think that it really shows that that you guys are serious about this, and that makes us really happy. And we're really excited to watch you guys grow. There are a few things that we need to touch on tonight. Let's see. Let's start with some of the things we want to get out of the way, and then I guess we'll open it up for Q&A. Trisha, would you mind gathering the questions if there are any from the thread for the Q&A? That'd be awesome. Okay, so as I believe someone mentioned to you guys, maybe it was Laura that mentioned to you guys that we are going to do a book study coming up soon. I want to get the exact dates for you guys. The book is called The Big Leap. And I can tell you that this book, there it is, Susan's showing it. This book has been transformational for myself and for a lot of my leaders. Kind of a fun story here. When I was listening to, remember the 12 Days of Diamonds? Remember when they did that around Christmas time? I was listening to the recording when I was driving, and this girl, I can't even remember her name, but I resonated with her so well, and I just loved listening to her. And she said that there was this book that she had read that had totally transformed her life, and she just gave a very short blurb about it, just how we seem to have these upper limit problems where we're kind of boxed into our comfort zone. And when really great things begin to happen to us, we can kind of self-sabotage, and we can cause problems in our own lives to prevent ourselves from reaching our highest potential and to being our best self that we can become. And she just gave a few examples of that and how we can do that in our relationships with our spouses, or we can do that in friendships, and how we can do that in our business. And I think that a lot of us are probably afraid of advancing. You guys may be afraid of getting to silver or gold or platinum or diamond, and what happens at diamond, and the responsibility and everything that requires. And it's all about how we can make sure that we can take control of our lives and take control of our mindset so that we don't sabotage ourselves, so that we can go beyond our comfort zone, if you will, into the best possible thing that we can reach for our lives. And so when she was talking about this book, I am not kidding you, I was driving past the library, and I was like, I look over and I'm like, that's the library, and I need this book. The chances of them having this book at this library are slim to none, but I don't care. I'm just going to go in and I'm going to check. So I ran in the library, and do you know, it was the last copy that they had, and I checked it out, and I got home and I read the book in 2 days, and I was like, holy cow, this is completely transformational, really helped me to get through a lot of my struggles. And I've mentioned it to several of my leaders since, all of whom have said, okay, thank you for that. I bawled my eyes out, not because it's a sad book, but because you can really see yourself in that and see the ways that you're sabotaging yourself. And it's really just very eye-opening. So I'm very excited that we're going to be doing this book study together. We are going to launch this, let's see, 1 week from tomorrow on July 10th. That will be week 1. So you guys have a week and a day to get your book. I can tell you, this is not going to be as in-depth and tedious as was the game plan book, okay? So don't worry, you're not going to be spending several hours a day doing this. The chapters are really easy reads, but we're going to have some times of reflection afterwards, and maybe some questions to kind of just to get the creative juices flowing, so that you guys can think about how this might be affecting your lives. So we're really thrilled to be doing this. So this will be, let's see, did we decide 5 weeks, I believe? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I believe that we decided this will be 5 weeks. And then after that, we're going to take off for about a week or so, maybe 2 weeks. We're going to start on August 21st in Masterminds. And Masterminds will be just a place for you guys to brainstorm creative growing techniques, ways that you can reach out to people, talking about color personalities. And And just a fun little thing, this is how all of the other leaders and myself met. We were all involved in a crossline group that Young Living was hosting for us. And there were other people in the group. I think that there were maybe 12 of us, but we all just clicked, and just in a really amazing, fabulous way. And we're all very different, but we all just have the utmost respect for each other. And we just really, we're so excited to start this together. And I have no doubt that that's what this is going to be for you guys. When you guys are involved in this mastermind, that it's really going to take your business to the next level if you will let it. And I'm telling you that the mastermind group was a huge reason why I was able to finally rank up from gold to platinum in March. And I'm just really excited to have you guys take part in this. So speaking of masterminds, we decided, we had the poll in the group to see when everyone, or the majority of people, were available. And we had Sunday evenings and Monday evenings. I don't think that the leaders that were available for evenings, did you guys decide whether you wanted to do Sunday or Monday?
Doesn't matter to me. I can do any of them.
Okay. All right. Well, we will decide it will be Sunday or Monday, and then definitely for the daytime session, Monday wins. So, so we will be having a Monday daytime and either a Sunday or a Monday evening time. And we're going to start with just those two. We're probably going to create a Google Doc for you guys to put your names in. And if we find that they're filling up really quickly, then we're just going to create another one. And we will stay on and we'll moderate for a few weeks to get you guys going. And once you guys are on a roll, then we're going to leave you to it and let you guys just kind of mesh. So we're really excited for you guys. Let's see, what else do we need to cover? Well, before we do the drawings, let's go ahead and do some Q&A, because I'm sure that's going to take a little bit. Tricia, did you find any questions online?
Yes, there have been a couple of questions. The first one is from Mary Fairchild. Let's see, Mary, are you on tonight? Yes, there you are. Hey. She said, I know it was mentioned in an earlier Zoom call, the one I, of course, was not able to attend, right? But what is the system, sorry, I got a cat causing trouble here. What is the system program that people use to send out monthly emails and things? So do any of our leaders use an email program for sending out on a monthly basis, Laura?
I do. I use Marketing Sense and I love it. I love it. And if you, it is actually a 3 and free. So if you get 3 people signed up underneath you, it's for free. So you definitely want to get a referral code from someone who's in your upline for it. It's brilliant. There's autoresponders. There's a CRM, which is contact. What is that? Contact. It organizes your contacts. I'll just rephrase it. There's a database for your contacts. It's brilliant. There's a great app to use your phone when you're out and about. It's great.
Laura, I'm interested in hearing, do you feel like it really has done a lot for your business? I just, as I was reading some stuff about, being in communication with your people, I was reading that email is the worst form of communication for most people. So I'm interested in hearing if you feel like it's really helped your business.
I totally do, actually. And I will say it is the worst. I do as many contacts as I can. So I don't rely on it for sure, but I'm amazed at how many people do open it. And I really do feel like it taps into, in particular, my older people who have signed up, 60s, 50s, 60s, and even 70s, who are more retired, sitting around and actually reading their email. But the cool thing is that it actually tallies points. So you've got, on my dashboard, I know who has opened the most and clicked on the most, and that's actually where I do my care calls. So I will start with that person at the top because I know they've opened up a lot of emails, and a lot of them are my retired people for sure. And they're the ones who really could use a care call too, because they might not be as likely to be Googling answers to their questions and everything. So yeah, I really have liked it.
Anybody else want to share? Does anybody else? I know that MailChimp, some people like to do MailChimp because it can make really pretty newsletters. I can say that when I open an email and it's just a bunch of words, I am so turned off by that. I do not want to sit and read through all of that. So apparently you can very easily make it into a newsletter format where it's more aesthetically pleasing so that people are more likely to read it. But I have no experience with that yet.
Yeah, and MailChimp also does what Laura does. It tells you who's opened it, and you can do autoresponders in it. So you can set up your own autoresponders, and you could have it actually tailored to, say you have an older crowd, or say you have a mom crowd, or you have men, or you have people that are looking more for supplements, or people who are looking. So you can actually design campaigns and put people into them and create subgroups. So it's a very interesting way to go. It takes a little bit to learn it, but it is a great way to keep your contacts.
I like it for
I would
when
tell you,
I like it when I'm doing vendor events, because as they're putting their information in, I can put it into my marketing sense, and then I can put a note next to it that says what they look like, who was with them, what we talked about right there. Instead of doing it all at once, I usually have a little bit of a lull between when a couple of people come by, so I can actually enter them in as I sit waiting for more people, so that then I can follow up more effectively. And so that later on when I'm like, who are these people? I actually remember who they are.
I will also say, as someone who has used MailChimp, Constant Contact, and I still use Aweber with my other business, the thing with Marketing Sense is it's set up for network marketing. So it's nice because you can tag, you can create categories, you can do different mail systems, you can set up your own autoresponder, you can use their autoresponder. They've already got one that's compliant that they wrote with Young Living. You can edit it if you want to add to it, if you want to take away from it. It's very flexible, and it costs the same as MailChimp. So, well, MailChimp I think is free up to 500, but you're going to hit 500 pretty quickly. So, plus it's free after you get 3. So anyway, that was probably a very long answer to a very short question.
And I'll also, I hate to keep plugging for Marketing Sense, but I've been using it for a long time and I really, really like it. They've done a nice job of updating their graphics and trying to be more flexible. It has a blog option, so if you want to blog, you can create a blog. And I'll tell you, yes, I personally think email is probably the lowest on the list for reaching out to people. But I was one of those people. My sponsor dripped on me for a year with emails before I got going. So you're going to capture a certain audience by using an email program like this. So I think it is an important tool in your toolbox. So let's go on to, there were some questions that I think didn't really get into our Q&A request, but they were posted in the group, and I think they got skipped over a little bit because so many people were watching the videos to try to catch up today. So this is another one from Mary. It says, as far as follow-up, what do you all normally do when you reach out to someone that said they would host a class, but they've not gotten back to you yet? I have 2 people that want to have said they would hold classes in July, and I reached out to try and set a date and not heard back from either yet, and I'm wanting to get my other classes on the calendar by today. So what do you do when people say that they'll hold a class, but then you don't hear back from them?
So the first question I'd ask is, are they answering your phone call? Because that's the first question. If they've answered your phone call and they hem and haw, it's your language. If they're not answering your phone call, then you might need to stalk them. So if they've answering your phone call, make sure that your language isn't wimpy. So, hey, Trisha, it's Sue. Just wanted to touch base with you. You said you wanted to host a function this month. Did you want to host it in the first 2 weeks or the second 2 weeks? She says, oh, the second 2 weeks. Okay, great. Did you want to host it during the day or the evening? Okay, the evening. And now, which day is better for you? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, Friday, or Saturday? You have to change your language so that it's not wimpy. It can't be, I think you said you wanted, don't let her have a chance. You have to say, do you want to host it at the beginning of the month or the end of the month? Are we going to do it morning or evening? No yes or no's. Yes or no's will get you in trouble. They can get wishy-washy. Well, I'm not really sure. It's first or the second. And then if she says, well, I don't really know, well, which is better for you, evenings or mornings? So you never want to give them an option of a yes or a no. You always want to make them choose something and push them into the choice. If they're not answering you by phone or by text, you could, again, maybe send them an actual letter, handwritten, that you know that they're probably going to open. You'd write it with your own note, pretty little paper, and say, you know, I've reached out a couple times. Imagine you're really busy. I would really love to host and maybe put some brochures or something in with it. But, you know, think about your language if they're answering the call or if they're not. If they're not, you need to kind of move to snail mail. Something that you know that they're opening. And just say to them, listen, just let me know one way or the other because I'm fine with it. But please just touch base with me and say, this is not my month. Again, even in the letter, you can say, is July a good month or is August a good month? Just let me know so that I save room for you on my calendar. If you're not determined with your language, and I'm not talking pushy, just determined, they won't answer you back. Listen to your language.
Have you guys found that it works better if you pick a day, like give them a choice between two specific dates versus like the month?
Yeah. And again, you have to figure, again, what's your language? You can say, okay, you know, I have June 22nd and I have June 29th and July 4th. Which day works better for you? Again, don't give them too much of a choice. You know, narrow them down if you can. And if you already know that there's only dates you have open, say that. Okay, for the month of July, I have which one works best for you. Just make sure that you don't say, do any of those. No, which one? It's all in your language. Be real specific.
Like what we do with our kids.
Do you want to wear the red shirt or the blue shirt? Not are you going to wear a shirt? Is it the red shirt or the blue shirt?
I was just thinking the same thing and how often that's so true. You just treat them like your kids, but not in a negative way. It just helps for that decision.
It's the giving what I like to call the fake control.
Yep. But if you just say, are you ready to host? They can get out of it. You never want to say, hey, I'm just calling to find out if you're ready to host. No. You know, we talked, you said you wanted to host a class. Again, I have July 4th, I have July 8th, and I have July 12th. Which one works better for you? Again, if you want to get specific, go for it. The more specific you can get, the better off you're going to be.
And Susan, I think that's a powerful tool for inviting people to an event as well. I have a class this date or that date, which works better for you? Instead of leaving it wishy-washy.
Yep. And you need to be that way with anything that you do. You know, if you're writing a post on your Facebook page and you want people to answer it, you know, don't give them the option. You know, make it sound determined, you know, be the first one to, not if you are the first one, be the first one to, right? So I've got to do it, right? Not, well, I don't have time for that. You know, make it compelling so that they want to do it. Don't leave any of that language. It's like, well, maybe, because you want to come across as being really positive. You want to come across as knowing what you're doing. Anytime that you back into that, I don't know if you want to do it. Well, they don't know if they want to do it either. You have to tell them they want to do it, and not in a pushy way, but just, you know, this is the best thing you could ever do for yourself. You know, what do you do? Don't, again, none is, well, you know, this is what we do, and I'm not sure if it's really right for you. No. This is the best thing that you can do. This is really healthy for your family. You get that toxic yuck out, blah, 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 blah. So it's your language. Really listen to your language. Are you really strong and positive about what you say?
Okay, that was the best takeaway for me, Susan. Thank you so much. I was writing notes. It was just what I needed.
Are we ready for one more question? Okay. This one did get some responses in our Facebook group, but I thought it was really an important one because I think many of us we're at this stage now. We're ready to go out there and start having our classes. I hope you've all filled out your accountability sheet for the next month. You've already got your classes planned, at least for the next 2 to 3 weeks, but I hope for all of July. This is from Lisa Rogers. And Lisa says, holding my first of many game plan script-driven classes today. I'm a public speaker by nature and trade, but I'm nervous, y'all. I don't have the script memorized, and I'm not sure reading from a page feels as heart-centered for me. I'm just going to explain to the class that reading from the page helps me to stay on track and focused, because left unchecked, I can talk for hours about the oils. So we had a lot of people that kind of resonated with that, and I'd love to get some more feedback for everybody on that.
So the first thing I would tell anybody is that if you're reading off of a piece of paper, people can think that they can do it too. The one thing you never want to do is when you're actually talking to a group is make it sound like it's impossible for them to be you. We made this mistake when we first got into this business, and everybody was like, we can't be Sue and Casey. There's no way we can do this. By you reading off a script, it actually makes people at ease, because they think, well, geez, if she can do it and read off a script, so can I, right? So it doesn't, I think for many people, it's less intimidating, because we don't want to come off as the master. What we want to come off is these are good. There are resources for you. Anybody can do it, right? We talked about that when we answered questions, well, what a great question. I don't really know. There's so much about essential oils. Let's find out the answer. Or this is where you can go for resources. I think the same thing about script cards. I think anybody thinks they can do it. And most of them think they can do it better than you, because they won't need the script cards until you sit down with them as a business builder and say, keep the script cards.
And as far as staying on task and staying on, on your cards, I mean, obviously there are times where you're going to float a little bit, but I can't stress enough the importance of keeping it brief enough. You want to give just enough information, but there have been so many times where I've just strayed too far off what I should have been talking about and went on my own little oily rampages, or let people chime in during the middle of the class, people that wanted to share their testimonies, which I love testimonies. But then by the end, we're an hour and a half into it. People want to go home. So then people are less likely to sign up on the spot. So you got to keep it short and sweet and to the point, hammer home the points that you need to, and the rest of it, invite people up afterwards to talk to you. And that's where you can just go on and on and on and share with them, because everybody's already signed up. And that's obviously the goal of your class.
I have a hard time as a teacher to literally read, reading off of the script. I'm like, it feels like I have something in between me and the other person. So I need to reformat it so it's more bullet points, versus actual script. So I do stay in my little boundaries, but have my own words and my own phrases, because that's whether it was the heart-centered sharing or some of the other team scripts or the Sarah's script, it's always been, if I'm staring at it, then I feel like I have to read it word for word.
What I do is I fake read it. So I'm with you, Amanda. I mean, I've done it a zillion times, and I try and keep it tight. So I'm like Courtney, I can go off on an oil rampage, but just fake read it. I turn the page and I look down. I turn the page and I look down. And I turn the page and I look down, and I'm not reading it. But you do have to do what's comfortable, but at the same time realize that maybe what's most duplicatable isn't comfortable, and it's going to be a stretch for you. And that's okay.
And I'll also add to this, I didn't find out until a number of years into my business that I was actually making things a lot harder for my leaders, because I would show up, actually Sandy's on the call. I remember showing up at Sandy's house and hooking up my computer to her TV so that I could show my slides. And little did I know, everybody in the room was kind of glazing over thinking, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to do this? I have to bring all this stuff with me. So if you honestly can get back to a piece of paper and your starter kit, you're going to make this so much easier for yourself, so much easier for your team. And for me, I'm not going to say it's for everybody, but for me, there was a lot of ego involved. Wanting to be the expert in the room. So back off of it. Just be a friend and let the script do the work. Let the oils do the work.
And you can totally be the expert in 201s. That's when things change. Like you can step into a whole new space in 201s. 101s is all about, these are totally awesome. Join us. And that's it.
Right. I'm sure you've heard the phrase about fire hosing people. How many of you have done that in a 101 where you wanted to teach everyone in the room everything you learned about essential oils in the past 10 years in 60 minutes, right? That's just not going to happen. And they're going to walk away so confused and unable to even get started.
Yeah. Just absolutely deer in the headlights. Deer in the headlights.
So those were the questions that I was able to find in our Facebook group. If you posted something and we haven't addressed it, please go ahead and ask your question. Or if you have another question that's come to mind, we're going to open it up for your questions now.
So just before we do that, though, let's put out there that if you're on this call and you have not put your name in the chat box, because we are going to do some drawings tonight, put your name in the chat box for Melissa now so that she can put your name in the drawing for some of our other raffle prizes. Cool. All right. Anybody got any questions? Does anybody have a favorite day that they had?
Well, I have a question.
Sure.
I know I asked it and Tracy, somebody answered it. I can't remember who it was. Do you guys know if there's going to be a digital format for the workbooks so that people can type in and like do their answers via computer versus handwriting?
For Sarah's book?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Has anybody talked to Sarah to ask her?
Actually, Sue, on more than one of the videos, she said that Amazon's copyright, now that it belongs to Amazon, they can't do anything like that anymore. Amazon owns the rights to the book, so they cannot digitalize any of it anymore.
Yeah, there you go.
That's why I had to type up the script for Casey.
It's nice to have an assistant.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you. I have a friend of mine that was saying that typing was going to be more effective for him, but I guess it's going to be handwriting for him. Or typing the answers in via looking at the book.
We did have a question come up in the chat from Whitney. It says, are we allowed to buy more than one PSK for ourselves? We've had a couple of answers.
Yes.
So many of our starter kit wheels already. I'd love to get a new kit just for classes.
Yeah, you can order another starter kit at any point, but it cannot be on Essential Rewards. It has to be through a quick order. And you really want to look up what the starter kit number is if you can, just to type it in. It's easier. But yes, you can buy more than one starter kit. You just only on a quick order. You can't do it on Essential Rewards.
And not just to have a new kit to teach from, but you guys, if you have a few kits on hand to use at 101 classes, you are going to be so much more successful in having a 100% sign up rate. I have 3 kits that I keep on hand that I take with me to every class that I teach, and my local leaders, I will give them the 3 kits when they go to teach a class as well. And at the end, you say, I have 3 kits for the first 3 people who want them. And I'm not kidding you. There have been so many times where we're like getting towards the end of the class and someone will raise their hand, and it's usually the most quiet one the whole time. And she's like, do I need to jump over the couch and kill somebody to get one of those kits? Or can I just go ahead and take that? Like, people want them. So it really gets that impulse of like, okay, I want this and I want it now, because nobody wants to wait a week. I mean, oils are so amazing. They want them right then. So yeah, so flip kits, we call them kits in play, you know, whatever you want to call them. And so the way that you do that is you order the kits. Like Susan said, you cannot do it on Essential Rewards. It has to be on a quick order. Have the kits come to you, take them to classes. When people sign up, they still sign up just like normal on the computer. And then they can enter your mailing address to have the kit sent back to you so that you're forever going to have those kits. So yes, it's an investment in terms of they're always going to come back to you, but it's not like you won't use them, you know, worst case scenario. So I strongly encourage you guys to do that.
So then how do you handle when they want to join Essential Rewards right at the beginning and put in an order for a bunch of extra stuff?
I would call Young Living. If I couldn't get the 2 separate addresses, I'd call Young Living, and they'd have to pay shipping twice, or they have to trust that you'll give them the stuff back.
Okay. Well, and likely these are people that are local to you anyway. So in that case, maybe
Yeah, and
it gets sent to them and you meet them to do a box opening and get it back.
Exactly. And if they're local to you, you don't even have to have them send it to your house. You can have it sent to their house. And I love it when that happens because it provides an opportunity for me to sit down with them. And like you said, open the oils with them, teach them how to use it. It's like a follow-up class that they don't really have a choice. It's like, I'm here, so we're going to do this now type of thing.
Yeah, the only time that we have ever had an issue is at vendor events. We don't like vendor events. We like it to come back to us at a vendor event, only because we don't often know the people and they might not be that close. But if they're your friends and those kind of things, you know, it's very unlikely you won't get them back. You might not get them back right away because you have to meet them, but usually you'll get them back.
And then what about diffusers? Do you take diffusers too, or do you have them just pick out the one they want? It's like the oils that they're going home with.
It depends. If they're going to choose the one, I usually buy kits with the home diffuser. And if that's the one that they want, then I'll just send that diffuser home with them and I'll get mine back from them. But if they say they want the Aria, then I will just give them the oils and then, you know, and then just kind of deal with the Aria afterwards.
Yep.
Then they can get the diffuser a little bit later. Really fast, I just saw that Michelle asked, The Big Leap is the author Gay Hendricks. Yes, that is the book. There it is, the fishbowl. And we touched on flip kits. And does anyone have a favorite texting program for reaching out to their contacts? I'll let everybody else answer if they have something, but I can tell you that Oily Tools, it's integrated into Oily Tools and it's really easy to text from there. Do people who purchase the starter kit and spend the 100 PV get the 100 PV oil on the monthly promo? If they go on Essential Rewards right away, then they'll get the 100 PV because the 100 PV from the starter kit tacks on to whatever they're adding on to their Essential Rewards order. But if they're just getting the starter kit, that's considered a quick order, and the 100 PV free oil each month is Essential Rewards exclusive.
Marketing Sense does the text messages too.
Did that answer your question, Christina? I don't know that I fully answered your question. Please tell us if not. Oh yeah, sometimes there are monthly promos. So with the purchase of a premium starter kit, someone will get, like you said, a tangerine in whatever month that was that happened. Yeah, but that's not every month they do that. In fact, there's not one this month. But that's probably because Rudolph is back, y'all.
I know, so exciting. And remember, that special will still come in. So you're going to get a new kit, so you can still give them that special that they would get. They're going to walk home with a physical kit. Another kit's going to come back. So if there was a special promo for signing up, they would get that. You just don't get it when you buy the kit beforehand. So you're buying the kit and having it. They still have to make a membership. So they'll still get the promos. You just won't get them personally when you buy the kits, if that makes sense. So they don't lose out on anything.
You won't get the ER promos, but if you get 3 kits at one go, you're going to get 300 PV, and then you're going to get your 300 promotion rate, except for the ER exclusives.
Yep. Yeah, which this month is good.
All right, any other questions that we can answer for you guys before we do the drawing? I have a feeling everybody's like, okay, just tell us who gets that amazing DVD set.
Can we do the other drawings first?
Sure, let's make them wait.
Wait, I have one thing I want to do. One thing before the drawing. Who's already found their 2 leaders that they're going to train in the next boot camp? Awesome. Awesome. Good for you. Yay. Fantastic. Because that's the next step, right? Train 2 to train 2. If it just stops at you're not going to see duplication in your team. So the whole point of game plan is to equip you, and I hope you all feel equipped now to go out there, to help people get started, to help them get on ER, but to also train your leaders so that they can equip people. Okay, I think we're ready for the first set of drawings. Melissa, are you there?
Yes, we are. I'm here with my best friend, Pete. We were on the river all day too.
Awesome.
And so he's also a fellow oiler. Oh wait, let me take this off so he could. Okay, there we go. Hi. All right. So we have two sets of raffle bowls here. The one is for the DVD set and the one is for everyone that is on here. So we'll do the DVD set last. And that's for everyone that handed in their tracker sheets. And this, Pete is going to help me. Let's put the van away.
So tell them what we're doing, Melissa.
Slowly pick 5 names for everyone that's on this call. And each one of the leaders is going to send an oil to one of these lucky participants.
Okay, we ready?
We are ready.
All right, number 1.
Number 1.
So who's the first leader?
Oh, can you guys hear me?
It's really faint.
Fairchild. Yay. So Sue, can you write these down, or can somebody write these down?
Yep, hold on.
So
I've got him.
away.
You got him, Tricia?
Speakerphone. Wait, let me see if I do.
Trisha's
this.
got him. Okay.
There you go. Now I can hear 'em.
Okay, Mary Fairchild. Winner number 2. I love raffles. Vanessa Murdoch.
Woo!
Yeehaw. I don't know why this is not. Usually there's speaker. I'm going to put this back in. All right, number 3, Matt Sure. I'm sorry about this. Ciarano, and I may have spelled it wrong. It's from the chat. He's on with somebody. Who? Oh, or is he on? Is he on with you, Christina? Is that your significant other? Okay, there we go. And
Melissa,
number.
could you spell that for me one more time? Who is it?
Ciarano. Is he part of you, Christina? Yeah. Yes. Okay. Christina / Christina Heckelman.
Got it.
Awesome. Hillary, I hope that's an F. Fournier. Yeehaw. All right. And number 5. Linda LaChance. Is that how you say it?
That's not.
Oh, this is so exciting. I'm so glad this was our job. Okay, so those are the 5 winners that are going to get little gifts from each one of us. And now everyone that completed the the trackers and the game plan and sent it to one of us is in this bowl right here for the awesome DVD set that was donated by Patty McLean. She wrote the Teens Guide to Wellness, Purpose, and Abundance. And thank you to everyone for the amazing support and for everyone that came to visit us at Aroma Share too. So, and thank you, Patty. Okay. And the winner is Kim Morgan. Yeah. We'll put this here. Awesome.
So excited.
I'm so excited. Awesome. Everybody, this has been, Pete's done. This has been so wonderful. I'm super excited to be continuing. I've already listened to half of the Big Leap because I have it on Audible for a second time. Courtney was right, and Courtney, I can't thank you so much. It's totally a game changer. So I can't wait to go through it with all of us because the energy is going to be completely magnified, and we're all just gonna go to the next level. Not even. Actually, there's no levels. There's no upper limits.
No ceiling.
Yeah.
Does somebody just want to quickly tell them how we're gonna handle the Big Leap and what we're gonna do?
Do you want me to do that, or Laura, do you want to do that? You're very good at the green things. That was my blue thing.
Do we still have Laura with us?
Okay.
We might have
I
lost
don't know.
Laura. She was having really bad internet issues.
So each.
So Courtney,
yeah,
you
go
want to
ahead,
read it
Courtney.
again for us?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really simple. We're just going to cover a chapter a week essentially. There's 1 week where we're gonna double up on a couple chapters that are a little bit shorter, but we're just going to do that, and we're just going to read them together. That's really the extent of it. It's gonna be really simple, right? There's nothing else, you guys.
And each one of us takes 1 week. And is there a certain day we're posting?
We'll be posting on Mondays, and whichever leader is covering that particular week will go live at some point on that Monday and just kind of share their thoughts on that chapter, on the book as a whole, anything business-wise we want to share with you guys.
And we'll continue on the Crossline Game Plan Squad Facebook page.
Yes.
Yes. So that starts next Monday, July 10th. So get your book.
So do we need to read our first chapter by the 10th, or are we starting the book on the 10th?
We're starting it on the 10th.
Cool.
Abby had a good question about will it be on the same Facebook group?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it will be. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the book study will be on the same page, and then we are going to, when we do our masterminds, after we get all those situated, we're going to actually empty out this group, and we're actually going to do another boot camp with whoever wants to do that in September. So start talking to your teams about that and getting the interest up, because we want a whole new group of people participating in September.
Yep. And the mastermind sign up will be August 21st. We'll post it for August 21st. And then we actually start on August 28th. So keep your eye out after the big leap for us to post the time. So it'll be an evening time, or it'll be the Monday daytime. And we'll put that up there as soon as we as leaders decide whether we're going to do the Sunday or the Monday night. And then on August 21st, you'll actually sign up for that. And you can pick which one you want to be in. You're not in both. You pick one or the other. And then that will become your little group, your little tribe, like we did. We picked Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And then we met every week together. And then just so you know, the format will be that you, as one of the people on the mastermind, we will post a number of topics. You'll present on one topic, and then you'll present on one product. So it'll be a compliant product, and you get to pick it, but we would encourage everyone to pick a product that's not peppermint, right? Go for something that's very different, Remagen or Thyromin or Thyromin, however you pronounce it. Everybody pronounces it differently. Something that not everybody uses, so that you can learn about a product that's not typical. And then we'll post a list of what topics you can talk about, or you can come up with your own. And it's just a short presentation. It's not a long one. It's maybe 10 minutes, 12 minutes, but it'll be a topic that'll start a conversation. Any questions?
Well, we don't see any more questions. Vanessa, thank you. Oh, goodness. Thank you, you guys. I can't tell you how much it has meant to us to be on this journey with you and to hold this space for you as you move forward in your Young Living business and, carry this out to your teams, because I don't know about you guys, but this is the tool that I have been waiting for as a leader. And I love sharing this with my leaders, because I think this empowers all of us. It helps us feel focused and literally feel like we have a game plan for how to move forward with our businesses. So if each of our leaders would like to add a little something to wrap us up here, I think that would be really appropriate.
Well, I'll go first and just say, it was so awesome to be with everybody. It's so fun to meet people from other teams. It was great to meet you at convention. And I really am excited about you guys clicking on a mastermind, because there's been nothing better for us than to have somebody that's not within our own line that we can kind of shoot around and talk about things with and learn ideas. And if you won one of our oils tonight, if you will shoot your email on this chat, that way it goes to Trisha when we do it, we can actually get your prize off to you. So just drop it in there. So for me, thanks so much. It's been an awesome journey, and I look forward to the big leap and the masterminds and our next group.
Thank you all, guys.
And I just want to say it was wonderful to meet everyone too. And I love the products. I love Young Living, but like the community that we are all forming, Young Living family, is it makes doing the business part of this just such a joy. So this has been such an honor to meet everybody, and I'm super excited to start seeing everybody at conventions, to start celebrating everybody's rank ups, to start hearing everyone's stories and how this is changing not only you and your family's lives, but the people that you're and have and will be touching, as well as you introduce Young Living to them. So stay in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. And you know, if you want, what we could do is, as leaders, we could just, in our group message, we can just send the address, because we have access to all of our members' addresses through Oily Tools. So we could just send them, we could just send to the group message the addresses, and then we can do it that way so that nobody's having to email everyone.
Oh, I just need the email address just so we can contact them. Doesn't matter. I don't know if anybody's worried about it. I don't think anybody's worried about being stalked. I hope not.
Oh no, I was just saying so that like Laura or whomever didn't have to email everybody to get their addresses. We could just send in the address of all of our winners.
That's fine. I think we've actually got them all at this point, so I think we're good.
We're good.
Cool. Well, thank you guys. I'm so glad that everyone joined us tonight and throughout this process, and we look forward to doing this book study with you. I hope that you'll join us.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.